Dollar Shave Club, products you like. Smell, feel, look your best right to your door. Handsome discount. More you buy, more you save. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Colin for special offer with that. We go to New York City. NBA guy for this network via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. Chris Broussard. All right, I talked about 20 minutes ago about the blame pie. When things go bad, everybody's going to blame people. If we sliced it up, Magic Pelinka, injury, Clutch Sports, Luke Walton. If I ask you, where does the majority of the blame go for this Laker mess? How do you answer that, Chris?
Well, I thought the pie was good. You had a lot of specifics, but I would focus on two main things. One, LeBron's injury, and to a lesser extent, the other injuries. Rondo missed 34 games. Lonzo's been out for 17 or 18 games. The injuries have crushed them. People forget they were the 4th seed in the West before LeBron got hurt. And even with the horrible coach, Luke Walton, right, they were 10th in the league defensively. So let's remember that. A sign of a good coach is a coach that has his team playing defense. So there's that. The second thing I would focus on was the Anthony Davis trade fiasco. And that does fall mostly at the feet of Magic and Rob Pelinka. You can throw in Clutch Sports for a little bit. You can throw in LeBron for a little bit because he never should have been talking publicly about Anthony Davis. When he's asked about it, just, hey, no comment. I'm not talking about other players. Don't go in an interview with Rachel Nichols and talk about how much you're going to recruit guys because that makes your other players in your locker room feel like, wow, he doesn't think we're good enough. So there's that. But the front office should not have let the Anthony Davis saga become what it did. They had to get out in front of it and say, look, I don't know where these trade rumors are coming from, but we like our team. We like our young guys. We feel like they're growing. They're getting better. We were just the 4th seed before LeBron got hurt. And, of course, like every other team, we're trying to improve, but we like Kyle. We like Brandon. We feel like we can go to war with these guys. I don't care if you're lying. You might be lying through your teeth, but Magic came out, basically confirmed everything, and then afterwards says, hey, you got to be big boys about it. Yeah, of course you do, but still, they're human beings too. So the front office needs to get out in front of it. And Colin, you can look at that is huge because defensively is where they've fallen off since the trade rumors. You look at Brandon Ingram's offense, you look at Kyle Kuzma's offense, and we say, hey, the young guys are still playing well. Of course, offensively, you always want to play well on offense. Everybody wants to score and put up numbers. But where you see the lack of morale, where you see the lack of chemistry, where you see the lack of trust among teammates is on the defensive end. In the first part of the season, they were willing to cover up for LeBron. They understood he was older. He's carrying the offense. You're going to have to carry him on defense and cover for him. Once the AD trade saga happened, they're no longer willing to cover for LeBron defensively, and that's why they've sunk the way they have.
There's a story this morning that LeBron would sit out games, last 15, 18 games. I don't think it looks great. He hasn't squashed an ant yet in Los Angeles. What do you make of that story?
I'm with you. I think that, look, when they're eliminated mathematically, which, believe it or not, will be a while from now, then you can sit him if you want. It might be 6, 7, 8 games left in the season, whatever. But until then, no way. Look, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're done. But it's not over. I mean, you still have the best player in the world or one of the top players in the world. Go for it. Here's another thing, Colin. We all think this team's going to look a lot different next year. And obviously a lot of the one-year veterans, they'll be gone. But what if you can't trade for Anthony Davis this summer? That would mean likely that Kuzma and Ingram are still a part of your team going forward. Maybe they try to trade one of them for a Bradley Beal or something like that. But the bottom line is these two guys plus Lonzo could be a part of your team next year. So for the future, they need these games. These are their playoffs. You're not out of it. You need to go and talk about, look, they need to learn what playoff pressure-filled basketball is about, and they can get that if LeBron's still playing. If he sits, then you're just coasting through the rest of the season and everybody's going for their individual numbers. And to your point, you're right. LeBron has had some bad optical moments this season. Sitting apart from the teammates in Indiana on the bench, all the stuff he's got going on in Hollywood, the TV shows, the albums with 2 Chainz. And a lot of fans, Laker fans, are starting to think, did he come here to play basketball or just to be a mogul? A lot of fans are also looking at Kobe, and they're saying, Kobe brought it every night. I'm telling you, Kobe's image is actually improving with LeBron here.
Yep.
Because people are comparing him to LeBron and saying, Kobe brought it. We didn't have to worry about Kobe's intensity and all that from night to night. Even if he missed shots or whatever, he brought it. And so this would just be another bad optic for LeBron if he sits out.
3 minutes left. I have 3-4 different executives, sources, people in the league saying Luke's done, Ty Lue is next. Can you confirm, deny? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing the same thing, and I'm hearing that Ty Lue is going to want big money to put up with LeBron and Magic. And he's smart because, look, those are 2 powerful guys. Those are 2 guys that are going to speak their minds. So you better get some security. Ty Lue knows, even though he and LeBron have a great relationship, it's tough to coach LeBron.
Yeah.
And so he wants to be compensated very well, and I think he will. Doc Rivers, I don't think Doc will leave the Clippers. He shouldn't if he's going to get Kawhi, and who knows who else they might get, a KD or somebody like that. So I think Ty Lue is definitely what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing he's going to want big money, and it looks like the Lakers will pony it up.
All right, you got a radio show to do later with Rob Parker. You're doing a great job. First things first, Chris Broussard in New York. Good seeing you, bud.
Thanks, Colin.
You bet. Chris brought up an interesting point, is that last night during the Laker game late, fans started cheering for Kobe. And it's an interesting thing. The Kobe fans pushed back on LeBron initially because they thought it would weaken Kobe's image and standing in Los Angeles. It's actually strengthened it because you got Kobe in your prime in Los Angeles. Dude dropped 60 in his last game. Kobe now has been empowered by LeBron's apathy and injuries. And you got to remember, Los Angeles is an ADD town. Like we stop paying attention very quickly. There's another sports team and another star driving by every 15 minutes. This is not Cleveland. We don't have low self-esteem.
It's all about winning.
Dodgers are getting to the World Series. Rams are getting to the Super Bowl. Chargers, 2 soccer teams. It's a big city. And, LeBron comes here. They're chanting Kobe's name last night during the game. Fourth quarter. What does that tell you? It reminds me, sometimes weakness becomes strength. And, like when Starbucks back in the 70s and 80s started branching out, it would move to a city. And if you owned a coffee shop in your city, there was great fear about, oh, my God, here comes Starbucks. But what Starbucks did was actually elevate the culture of coffee. And so it often, as long as you were a well-run coffee company, Starbucks would move into your city. It wouldn't put you out of business. It did some, but it often elevated the entire coffee culture. It was the opposite of what people thought. What everybody thought was LeBron coming to L.A., Kobe no longer exists. The opposite has happened. It's made Kobe looked like the warrior playing through injuries, giving you everything he's got, bleeding
Mamba
for
mentality.
Bleeding for the franchise. LeBron sipping wine, load management. I'm going to sit out games. So I do think Kobe's been empowered. Kobe, it's like he's like an artist. You know how art's more expensive the longer somebody, the longer Picasso's gone, the more money the art is worth. And it's like Kobe is now more valuable than ever. His legacy is being elevated every day. All right, hour 2. Next.